Hi, I'm glad you chose to spend some time with me. So we are Monday, and it is time for me to tell you about my reading plans and other plans for the upcoming week, so that you have an idea of what to expect from this carousel. This week is a Lightfall week, so this is a mini reading challenge that goes along with the Magical Readathon from G at Book Roast. I will leave a link to the channel, but by the time you see this mini reading challenge is already over. So I hope you still enjoy watching along. In this year's edition, we have a bingo board, and we can stack up books for the different prompts. And I have picked out 2 books. And the first one is Comme intime, évidence. I'll put the author with the book cover. It is by a French author, and I saw it on a French YouTube channel. And in this book is about a young couple that welcomes their first child, and with all the difficulties that goes with that. But also the mother picks up something that's quite different about her baby. And she has trouble making herself heard. So I'm very curious to see how this story will unfold, because I am myself mom of 5, and most of them have neurodiversities. And my first one was, and I had a hard time making myself heard and getting help for her before we finally made it. So it is something that I think will be very personal, touching. And the second book is an audiobook, and it is called A Winter's Tale. I will also put an image over there. And this one is one that I really specifically picked to fill in the prompts that I didn't fill in with the other book. And it is a shorter one. It is an audiobook from about 5 hours, 6, something in between with that. And it is the 4th book in a cozy mystery series. So I hope that it will be still easy to follow along. We'll see. If not, well, then no luck for me. But at least I would have tried to discover something new. And who knows, I like it and I go back to the first in the series. This week, we will also be doing a lot of activities for Lightfall, so you will probably see a lot of that in this video carousel as well. So I hope this is something you look forward to, and that you stick around to see the rest of our week. Coming back to you because I have finished A Winter's Tale by Diane Wing. This is the 4th book in a series called, and I need to have a peek for that, Chrissy's The Chi-Tzu Mysteries 4, and I found it as an audiobook included in Audible. And since I try to use those included books to test out new types of book, things that I wouldn't be drawn to as easily, I decided to give it a go, since the summary sounded very interesting. We are following Autumn, who is preparing her wedding, and her little dog, Chrissy, discovers a dead body under the snow. And at that point, some really strange events set in motion. It seems that the wedding is cursed. And in the meantime, they try to solve the mystery of who killed this person. I thought, well, it would not be a big problem that it's the fourth book and I didn't read the 3 first ones. And that was indeed the case. I didn't had the impression of missing a lot of information on the characters, since in compilation series like this, it is the mystery that is the most important part. Unfortunately, that's the only point where I was right in my thinking, because for me this book didn't do it. It is a book I read, existed, I didn't had a bad time, but on the other hand I wasn't really drawn into it. Maybe it is because I am not like the very big wedding romantic type, and that I couldn't really relate to that part of the story. And also, this part took up more of the space than I thought, and this left less space for the mystery itself. And I feel like that the mystery was a little bit secondary to the whole wedding planning thing, instead of being even, or the mystery a little bit bigger. The mystery in itself, what we got of it, was quite well done and quite interesting. I think this is just not my type of cozy mystery. Also, what is very particular about this one, and I don't know how I feel about that, is that the dogs, there are many dogs in this story, are seen as the children of the characters, and they take this very big place in the whole thing. So we have a dog, we love our dog, but like if tomorrow I get married, I would not make like a buffet for the dogs or provide a section for the dogs in it. It feels strange to me. I can understand people do that, and it's fine. It's just I had difficulty relating with it, and it left me sometimes a little bit like, oh, and maybe also that made me miss out some of the parts. But if you like this type of book, I think it should be one you enjoy. I went to look up this author, and I saw she also writes more paranormal or witchy books, and I am definitely going to try one of those one day. Since we had a very busy week and we had to cancel some of the planned activities, we decided to have a cozy afternoon or late afternoon with a few activities that we enjoy. The first thing we did was to prepare a special treat for us. On Doughvanthea's menu is something called a snowball, and I'm not sure if G is aware that in Belgium we have a specialty that is only available in winter because it melts very fast, that is called a snowball. And we love those, so we decided to try to make them themselves instead of running out to buy them. I will leave the recipe in the description box, but basically it is 250 grams of unsalted butter that you wipe up, or how do you say that? You put them into the mixer with 250 grams of powdered sugar. We add in some vanilla, but you can add in other flavors. When this is all mixed together, you make a little blobs of it, and you put those in the freezer before heading to part 2. We'll come to that in a second. My little YouTubers have decided to make a review for Cinderella. I think we all know this story, so I will not bother with translating.
Donc en premier livre, moi, j'ai lu Cendrillon, qui est un livre vraiment beau et franchement, j'ai adoré. Alors on passe d'une petite fille pauvre et je vais dire maltraitée qui devient à la fin une belle princesse. Elle est une belle princesse. Et le petit village très beau avec les belles images. Maman, c'est à toi.
The butter has to go in the freezer for about an hour, and so I took the time to play Indian Summer by the original rules with Niklaus. He got interested in the game seeing it laying around when I was using it to create my TBR game. Also, Meyrine has now fully taken up her role as the innocent hand, and she absolutely wanted to take part in the game. Even if she is still too young for it. She distributed the tiles just as in the TBR, and she had a lot of fun with that. Back in the kitchen for part 2 of the preparation. You need to have melted in bain-marie about 275 grams of dark chocolate, and to prepare a mixture of 30 grams of powdered sugar and 20 grams of maizena. I know that's a brand name, but I do not know how to call it otherwise. Then you pass the little blobs of butter through the chocolate, and after that you put them into the sugar and maizena mix. They will melt very quickly, and we had to put half back into the freezer because it was too soft to put through the chocolate. When you try out this recipe, take the blobs out of the freezer bit by bit. Our snowballs doesn't look as good as the ones that you can buy, but they taste way better. Happy Lightfall! It's time to illuminate the house with all our Christmas lights and candles. Just before cuddling up in the couch to read The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum. We are reading this book as an advent calendar with the kids. il avait choisi d'abandonner sa vie dans la forêt. Les amitiés ne se sont pas facilement brisées et les immortels sont partout. Une fois qu'il eut rejoint le ruisseau, il se désaltéra de son eau pure et s'assit pour s'amuser des espiègleries de ces vaguelettes qui cabriolaient, se poussaient contre les pierres et se chevauchaient pour tenter de se dépasser. Let's wrap up this vlog, and I noticed that this place at my desk is slowly becoming my favorite place of filming, and that's okay, especially that the 2 weeks of Christmas and the 1st of January my husband will be home, and we will be working a little bit on this wall behind me to make it more of a book wall. So if you want to see that, it will probably be in my next carousel. I think we had a week that wasn't completely as we planned out. There are things that I wanted to do that we didn't get to. And I also finished right at the end of the week, Comme intime, évidence. I read whole week on this book. I didn't expect that. And also this book was so much more than what I expected. And it's again one of these books that I am very sad that it isn't translated to English, because this is such a highly necessary book. When I set out, I thought it was about the arriving of a child in a family. That was all I picked up from the review I saw of it. But as soon as I dove into this book, the child in question arriving in this family is autistic. And we will go through almost 18 years. And in these 18 years, we will see the struggle, especially of the mother of this child, that what she has to do to help a child, the ununderstanding that she has of the situation. It's her first one, so she also doesn't have any experience to compare to. And then all the reactions people give, and it's not only like friends or family, but also schools and professionals. And this story is extremely touching, and maybe I read it so slowly also because it is very personal to me. I am autistic myself, but I was late diagnosed at 36, whilst I also have my oldest child who has the diagnostic, and I knew something was wrong since the start, just like the mother in this story. I was lucky. I had the first medical person saying it could be autism when she was 2.5. I worked with children with autism, so at 18 months, I was pretty sure that's what I had in front of me. And it took me until she was almost 15 of fighting to get her a diagnosis. And after that, we fell in this zone of, well, you have a diagnosis, and just now, well, exists with absolutely no help, especially for her to understand the world around her. And this book really reflects how you feel as a mom when you try to find a way that your child still feels comfortable, and then you have other people saying, but you're a bad mom, you shouldn't allow that, you are going to be run over by this child. And you are there and you know that what you're doing is for the best, and that these people don't understand. Reactions like, well, you know, you just shouldn't get put up with this. Your child is just being stubborn, or you should do so or so. Everybody is a little bit autistic. Don't make a fuss about it. That is not happening. Your child is speaking. Your child is like not causing a lot of trouble in school. Everything is fine. And I think that because of this book touched me so much, I spent a time reflecting on it, thinking back on my own experience, linking those together. And I also learned a few things along the way, like other people to research who explain and give speeches or wrote books about autism that I haven't read yet. And what makes this book extra unique is that most of the books of on autistic people, I have read center on the difficulty of the autistic person themselves, like in My Friend Ben, for example, or in Ben X, or sometimes also called Nothing Was All He Said. And good stories that I loved and that are of my favorites. But in this one, the place of the mother was the center of it all, and I felt so understood and so supported by it. If you have access to French, I highly recommend that you read this book. So I hope that you enjoyed walking through this Lightfall week with us. If you want to know more about all our Avengers, then I'm hoping to see you next Monday. Have a great week. See you soon.